Hello and welcome to your preview for the Chelsea versus Atletico Madrid game, which will be taking place tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. kickoff at Stamford Bridge for our second leg in the tie of the round of 16. A fantastic opportunity for Chelsea to progress into the quarter-finals of the Champions League for the first time since 2014. Yes, it really has been 7 years since Chelsea last qualified for the quarter-finals of the Champions League. It's been such a long time, and for a league club like Chelsea, that is simply unacceptable. And it really shows how far off we've fallen during that period of time. But hopefully, a new revolution, a new era under Chelsea, under Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel has a fantastic opportunity to allow Chelsea to progress into the quarterfinals. In this preview, I'll be giving you guys my predicted lineup for the game tomorrow against Atletico Madrid. I'll be giving you guys team injury news. I'll be summarising Thomas Tuchel's press conference that he conducted earlier today, this afternoon. And finally, I'll be giving you guys my score prediction for the game. Like, button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and comment down below your score predictions in the comment section below. Starting off with Thomas Tuchel's press conference, I'm going to give you guys a summary of it because it's a complete long press conference. I watched it, I took some notes. It's about a 25-minute, half an hour press conference, so I've essentially summarised it for you guys, giving you guys the best bits of the press conference. Now let's start off with some injury news and some suspensions. Now unfortunately, it's a massive blow because Mason Mount and Jorginho are both out for tomorrow night, two key players for Chelsea, and I'll be discussing how much of an impact that's actually going to have on the game plan tomorrow. I'll be giving you guys some tactical insights for that. He then went on to say that Thiago Silva and Abraham are still unavailable for this game. They are still both injured. I'll be describing as to why that's still the case, and hopefully they will return until after the international break. Thomas Tuchel has also said there is no time to reflect on what may happen in the summer. He says that Timo Werner has no reason now to be frustrated after positive displays against Liverpool and Everton. He says that Kepa Arrizabalaga is a top guy and is producing top and outstanding performances in training, and he has 100% trust in him. He also says that Kepa will be disappointed not to be selected for the Spain squad. He says that he is super strong at Chelsea and that decision doesn't affect his part of the club. He says that Chelsea need a top performance tomorrow night, saying they need to be better in decision-making, technique, and be a lot more precise in the key decisions. He says that every team can win the UCL, and he's very happy to be at Chelsea. He knows he needs to get his job done, and as do the players. Thomas Tuchel knows it will be super hard to create chances against Atletico Madrid, and knows it will be a big challenge like the first leg, and he knows a challenge is awaiting them. Thomas Tuchel says it is the worst moment to talk about contract decisions. He says one day before a big match, Chelsea will communicate when decisions have been made. Now, that is essentially summarising Thomas Tuchel's press conference, and as I said, let me give you guys the reasonings as to why it's going to be a massive loss tomorrow, because we haven't got Mason Mount and Jorginho available. We have a massive conundrum. We have a massive dilemma in our midfield situation. Now, the obvious choice, I'm not going to give you guys my predict lineup just yet, but the obvious choice would of course be Kante and Kovacic in our midfield pivot, but I have some problems with that pivot, and I'll be discussing as to why. Now, as I said, Mason Mount with his intensity, his pressing, his passing range, the fact that he works hard and he's going to disrupt Atletico's backline and their rhythm, he would have been pivotal in tomorrow's game. Unfortunately, because of the yellow card suspension, he can't play. He's a guy that dictates the tempo of the game. We need a guy like him to ease the pressure, to beat Atletico's press, dominate the game, control the midfield. Jorginho would have been absolutely pivotal. If Jorginho played tomorrow, I would have been super confident for this game, especially with the fact that we already have an advantage on them. However, with Jorginho unavailable, I am slightly worried for tomorrow's game. Now, we know that Abraham and Silva couldn't play on the weekend. They were both injured against Leeds, and that still is the case. Now, Thiago Silva is a really weird one because he got injured against Spurs over a month ago, and we thought he'd be back for the first leg of the Atletico game, and that was never the case. We thought, okay, surely he'd be back for the second leg, and he's still not back. And now, to give you guys some context for that, he actually has recovered from his initial injury that he sustained during the Tottenham game. However, as he was so close to recovering, he picked up another injury which set him back quite a few more weeks. So hopefully, with this couple of weeks that are coming up for the international break, he will get the sufficient rest and the recovery period and time to be able to recover and come back a lot stronger. However, it's not a massive issue because Christensen has been our best centre-back. He's been simply phenomenal and world-class. And I don't even think if Thiago Silva was fit that he would actually start this game. So it's not a massive issue in that regard. Tammy Abraham, he's still injured according to Thomas Tuchel. He's got a bit of an ankle injury that's making it feel uncomfortable. So he is also unavailable. So that's getting the injury and the team news out the way. Now let's get straight into my predicted lineup for this game and give you guys some tactical insight onto how we can beat Atletico Madrid tomorrow evening. I'll be giving you guys reasoning as to each selection I've made. 3-4-2-1. Now, we played a bit of a back four against Leeds United, but I am very, very confident tomorrow Thomas Tuchel will utilise the classic 3-4-2-1 formation. I've gone for Edouard Mendy in goal. Very obvious, he was man of the match against Leeds. He's been superb. He's our first choice goalkeeper. Nothing more to be said. There's not much for me to say on that. Now, the three at the back is going to be very controversial. Very, very controversial because I've gone for Emerson left centre-back, Antonio Rudiger central centre-back, and Azpilicueta right centre-back. Now, Azpilicueta, I don't need to give much reasoning. You know, he's been playing right centre-back on Thomas Tuchel for a long period of time. You know, we know Azpilicueta is most likely going to be playing right centre-back, so I don't need to give my reasoning for that one. However, the Rudiger and Emerson positioning is very interesting, controversial, and I'm about to give my reasonings as to why I've done this. Now, Christensen is not going to be part of a back three in my personal lineup that I believe Thomas Tuchel will go for. I've put Christensen in midfield. I'll be discussing that when I get to the midfield section. Now, as Christensen won't be available, and because Thiago Silva is still injured, I'm shifting Antonio Rudiger from the left centre-back position to the central centre-back position. Now, that means there is a vacant area in the left centre-back position. Now, obvious choice would be put Kurt Zouma in. Kurt Zouma is available, however, Kurt Zouma is a bit suspect when it comes to Atletico breaking the lines. We are playing against top elite opposition. I think that mistake he made against Southampton where he opened the space and allowed Minamino to go through, I am worried if we put Kurt Zouma there. Emerson is a competent left back. He's a very quick, competent, good defensive fullback and a left centre back. He has played in that position numerous amount of times. I think Emerson could do a solid job in that position. I'm sure they've done this in training in regards to tactics. I think Emerson would go there. So I'll put Emerson, Rudiger, Azpilicueta as my three centre-backs. Plus he's got the pace to deal with João Felix running in behind and obviously creating those overloads and spaces. In the half spaces, Emerson can deal with that perfectly fine. Now the midfield. Christensen has actually played midfield for Borussia Mönchengladbach when he was on loan when he was a lot younger. And he has played in midfield before. So he has experience. This is not me waffling and just sticking any old player at midfield. He has already played midfield in the past. Now, the reason why I haven't gone for Kovacic and Kante as a pivot is there's a specific reason for this. I'm very uncomfortable with having N'Golo Kante and Mateo Kovacic as a pivot. Both of these players are box-to-box midfielders. This means that they both like to get up and down the pitch. None of them are anchors. None of them like to sit in a position. Which is why you either play Jorginho and Kante or Jorginho and Kovacic. But because Jorginho is suspended, I don't want to play Kante and Kovacic. Because they are both box-to-box, they will be operating, moving up and down, meaning there will be massive gaps in between the lines, between the defensive line and the midfield line, which will cause us massive issues on the transition. They're going to be pressing us. They have to score at Stamford Bridge. They have to win this game if they are to qualify into the quarterfinals. I mean, they're going to be pressing. Kante is not the most press resistant. This could be a massive issue, causing those massive gaps, and we could be, we could be in a lot of trouble on the transition. Hence why I've gone for Christensen, who will be the sitter in this specific position because he's disciplined in his position. He's very disciplined in his role. He can play that DM, the guy that's able to progress the ball forwards. He can play that makeshift Jorginho position and still allow Kante to do his natural box-to-box midfield position that he's very comfortable in doing so. Reece James goes to right wing back again. He's played there numerous amount of times and he's more defensive compared to Hudson-Odoi. Normally I'd go for Hudson-Odoi, but Atletico are going to be attacking us. They're going to be going all guns blazing. Therefore, we need a more defensive-minded fullback just in case. So I'm going to go for Reece James right wing back. However, I'll put Hudson-Odoi further forward in the left wing back position. So I've got Hudson-Odoi left wing position as a makeshift fake number 10. That's where he's able to cut in into his strong right foot, able to link up the play, operating half spaces in between lines. You've got Timo Werner who can utilise acceleration. Remember, Atletico have to score, so they'll be using a bit more of a higher line. So Werner can utilise the space, attack the spaces, run in behind. So I think Werner will be very, very good in this game. So I've gone for Hudson-Odoi and Timo Werner as the two fake 10s, and I've gone for Kai Havertz as the false 9. Keep that momentum going in that position. He played very well against Everton, man of match in my personal opinion. Wasn't as great against Leeds, but there you saw some improvements. His link-up play, his operating is able to drop deep into the pockets. He had a couple of chances himself. He's a very clinical player. Again, he's a generational talent, we know this, but he can also play false 9. And as I said many times on this channel before, his best position is false 9. So I'm going to go Kai Havertz at false 9, keep that momentum. We could well see Giroud starting, but I think that Kai Havertz is much better in his false 9 position, and that is my predicted lineup going into the Atletico game tomorrow. The magnitude is absolutely crazy. We have to go through. After the advantage that we had, we are favourites of course, but we have to go through after this. Atletico's form has been a bit of a mixed bag since we last played them in the first leg. They're still top of La Liga, 4 points clear at the top of La Liga. They've had a couple of draws in there, some victories, some losses. They drew their recent game 0-0, so a bit of a mixed bag. But Atletico Madrid and Diego Simeone have changed their formation. They've reverted to a 3 in midfield. So tomorrow's going to be massive. Tomorrow is massive. This is where Chelsea's mentality, that Chelsea team's mentality, that grit, that bottle, that determination has to show through tomorrow. I believe in my team. I believe in my team 100%. I believe in Thomas Tuchel. And I believe sincerely we will get the job done. Of course, it makes life difficult when there's no Silva, no Jorginho, no Mason Mount. But nonetheless, we have a quality, world-class squad. There's so much depth and quality in there. And we should be able to get the job done. Tomorrow, I don't want any drama, please. I want something very straightforward and professional. Any sort of draw gets Chelsea through into quarterfinals, whether that's a 2-2, a 0-0, 1-1, doesn't matter. We have the advantage, we have the upper hand. We are at home at Stamford Bridge. It's our home, it's our pitch. Yeah? So, professional performance required, put in a professional shift, and let's get through to the quarterfinals. Come on, Chelsea, we can do this. Get into the quarterfinals for the first time in 7 years. Make your fans proud. Make yourselves proud. Let's go on this magical run, and who knows what can happen in this campaign, in this competition. Score prediction, I'm going to go for a 1-0 Chelsea victory. Yes, another 1-0 at home. Chelsea 1, Atletico Madrid 0. Leave me your score prediction in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this preview, to smash like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll see all of you guys for the next video. Peace.